The high sale of the year was $30,300,000, and the low sale of the year, 219,000. Wow. I mean, Longboat Key really does have a home in every price point. Okay, today in this video, I am going to take you through a quick look back of the 2025 real estate market, and then I'm going to share with you my predictions for the 2026 real estate market on Longboat Key. Now, I think it may surprise you. The info is really pretty interesting. I'm Judy Mitchell. I'm a real estate agent who lives and works here on Longboat Key. Okay, let's get into the details. Now, do you have your coffee? Because here come the numbers. In 2025, there were 406 sales, which is an average of about 34 homes per month. The average on Longboat Key is pretty typical, around 30. Now, the median sales price was lower than it has been. It hit $1 million for the year, but that is 25% less than in 2024. So that's interesting to know if you own on Longboat Key. The median sales price was 93.6% of list price. That's important info if you're a buyer, because it means that you have about 6 to 7% negotiating room on average. Now, there are deals where I have seen pricing go way under, and also, believe it or not, a few that have actually gone slightly over. Now, we know it's a buyer's market and buyers have more leverage, but as you look at some properties, I will say the buyers generally have more leverage, but it depends on which property you're looking at. Now, if you're a seller, it's important to know that the delta between the list price and the sales price, you know, that number is important, because as you price, you want to make sure that you're pricing. The closer you are pricing right, the more money you will get for your home. Okay, you really just don't want to waste days on market. Okay, so what are my predictions for the 2026 market? Well, right now there are 333 condos, single family homes, villas, and townhouses on the market. Now, that's a lot. It is a buyer's market, as I said. Now, buyers have a lot to choose from, and it's only January, so we know that there are even more homes that are about to come on the market, especially in the month of January. Like, it's the high season, so that makes sense. Now, for pricing this year, I think you can expect to see a slight dip in prices. Now, nothing dramatic, but we are in correction mode right now, and I bet when we get to the end of this year, we may see that our median price is under $1 million. So what does that mean? Should you wait to buy? Not necessarily. You may be able to get a great deal now, and as I always say, it's worth trying. If you're a seller, my advice to you really is the same as it was last year. Do not wait. It is not favorable for you, and the longer you wait to list your home, honestly, the less you'll sell it for. I mean, it was 25% between this year and last year, okay? So just take that as advice. Now, if you love your home and you're getting tons of value out of your home by living in it, by all means keep it. Sell when you are ready. Okay, now many people ask about the mortgage interest rates, and they really want to know how that affects property here in Longboat Key. So I think, like if you got one drop, 1 point drop in the mortgage market, that makes a huge difference from buyers who mortgage. But generally, on Longboat Key, we have a lot of cash buyers, and really in the upper tier of the market, it is not really going to affect it. Now, with that said, the middle and like the lower end of the market, that's going to be more impacted by the interest rates, really, because some buyers do mortgage. The other thing, really, point number 2, is that if you're selling up north and values have increased because mortgage rates have dropped, then yes, that could create a halo effect, especially on the condos here on Longboat that are priced under $1 million. So I think that's really good to know. So it's worth watching the market. But I have noticed a couple of trends in our real estate market, and I think that we can expect to see that in 2026. For example, the vacancy rate of rental homes on Longboat. I am seeing that there are homes out there that have not been rented for this season. Now, that's really rare. And I think that seems to be as a result of people having maybe less discretionary money to spend on a vacation rental, meaning like 1 to 3 month rentals. So I think that's interesting to note. And I also think it's interesting to keep an eye on. Another trend that I see is more interest in homes that have a unique quality. Now, that can be anything. For example, a 3 to 4 bedroom unit, Gulf front with fabulous views for under $1 million, that's unique. A single family home in a fantastic neighborhood that maybe needs some update, but it's priced right, that's unique. A home that is fully renovated, but really does not have that lived in feel, that's unique. Now, another trend that I see that impacts sellers. I will say that I see buyers taking longer to make decisions. There is a sluggishness in buyers, honestly, that I have not seen in years. They feel like this uncertainty in the market, and it's causing them to proceed cautiously. And I think kind of overly cautious because, can you really put a price on living in your dream home and like living the life you want? I don't know. But sellers, I want you to know about this trend because, it's part of the strategy of selling. Now, another trend I want to be able to mention to you is, and this is especially also important again for sellers, is that the same old marketing of your property is not working anymore. It's just not on Longboat Key. And, I would say like the typical print ad in the Observer, maybe the occasional postcard or putting the market, the listing in the MLS and like hoping and praying that somebody sees it. No, no. Old traditional realtors, honestly, with that kind of marketing are just not cutting it. We cannot rely on those old methods. In order to sell in today's market, it requires what I call a transmedia approach. It requires innovation. It requires a platform to reach buyers. And yes, I'm going to say it. You know what's coming. AI. Yes. So if you want to hear more about my innovative marketing strategies for properties that helped, me really sell homes on Longboat Key, particularly most recently, I would love to be able to sit down and explain that to you. And we can kind of go through your community, go through your property, and see how those strategies could apply. Now, in the meantime, if it is not time to sell, then it's time to enjoy. If it's time to sell, then you definitely need a strategy. If it's time to buy, you need a strategy. And for all those options, I would love to be able to speak with you. My name is Judy Mitchell. I am a real estate agent. I live and work right here on Longboat Key. I really want to be your resource for everything real estate related. And if you're, interested in continuing to follow the market, this year on my YouTube channel, I'm really going to be focusing on some new ideas on how to buy and sell homes particular to Longboat Key. So please subscribe to the channel if you are interested in learning more about this. And also if you're just interested in learning more about like what is life like on Longboat Key. So I'm happy to share that with you. And if you just want to talk about the market, I'm always here. Give me a call. My name is Judy Mitchell with Premier Sotheby's International Realty, and I am at 941-275-6838. And I really hope this video was super helpful for you. Thanks.